Hey everybody, Diabetic Daddy 76 here with a new recipe that's paleo friendly and healthy for diabetics. And I also have my awesome Butterfly Meadow blue coffee cup because only real men drink out of butterfly coffee cups. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to make now this is something I'm making up on the spot. What I've decided to do is I'm going to make chicken fried steak because, well, it's chicken fried steak. Anyway, in theory, this recipe should be completely easy to do. What you're going to need is 1 flank steak, 2 eggs, beaten, almond meal, and whatever series of spices you think are going to work with your meal. Today I've chosen to have some garlic powder, black pepper, ginger, curry. Curry will bring it alive in a way that I think other spices might hit the mark. And then we're going to go ahead and use some thyme leaves. However, I've opted, instead of using the dried thyme, I'm actually going to use this organic rosemary, thyme and sage mix that I have here. I've got some steaks here. This is actually under the blade steak. It's not skirt or flank steak. Didn't have any available. See, I have my eggs. Here is my almond meal. I might refer to it as breading, just force of habit. And what I've done, of course, is taken some almonds. Try to get some of the chunks out like this. Okay, to make a meal is actually fairly easy. Just take some almonds, and what I use if I'm cooking, I don't use raw almonds because it kind of defeats the purpose of having raw almonds. So I'll take these almonds, put them in my grinder here, and usually I'll put more, but since I have a full bowl of meal, I'm not going to worry about that. And I just put my grinder top on, and then here soon you'll see the magic. Okay, so I got my grinder top on, my coffee bean grinder. I've got the almonds inside, so all I do is just push the button. Okay, so then what you have is you've got something looks like this. Floury consistency. If you did it any more fine than this, it would become more of like a almond butter. So try not to overdo it, and you'll see there's still some chunks in there. That's okay. We'll go and add that to the bowl. Now that I've shown how to make the meal, I'm going to go ahead and start making the steaks. There's some bigger chunks in here I want to take out. Also, when you make meal, remember, it's just like flour. So if you're wearing black, you got a nice little floury thing going on your shirt, you look rad. So you'll take your meal right here. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and add some spices. Now for curry, I'd say a teaspoon, maybe. Garlic powder, maybe another teaspoon. Oh, that's more of a tablespoon. Let's go ahead and put that back in there. And you'll notice I'm not using salt. The reason I'm not using salt, though I love salt, is because salt isn't really good for my sodium content. And I imagine if you are diabetic, you're wanting to cut down on your salt too. Maybe half a teaspoon of ginger. We'll be a little bit more liberal with the ginger. It's a powerful flavor. So go and mix that in. Alright, let's get some of these fresh herbs in here. You really can't beat fresh herbs, you know, and it's not too tricky. Just tear some pieces off. That's what I like to do. Get the leaves off here and just sprinkle it in there. So remember, fresh thyme doesn't require as much as freeze-dried. It's got a lot more flavor in it. I believe that in the end, you'll enjoy it more. So mix that in. We'll go ahead and put this in the meal, just a little bit. Doesn't have to be too much. And I'm going to set that aside. Again, just lay it in the eggs. Don't worry about getting your hands dirty, that's part of cooking. So, put the egg over here, the steak over there. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to actually get a little bit more generous with the almond meal, because now we want it to coat. So, gives it kind of a 2-layer effect and add some decent flavor to the meat when we fry it. And we are going to fry it in olive oil. skillet fry. So I'm going to go ahead and add some vegetable oil. Usually I only do a couple of tablespoons, but since we're doing a chicken fried steak, I'm actually going to use more. I'm going to put it onto a medium high heat, and let that warm up. So now that the oil is heated up a little bit, we're going to go ahead and add our steak. And you're only going to do it for about 4 minutes aside. Since I really want it to cook a little faster, I'm going to go ahead and put a lid on it, help the meat brown a little bit, and cook on the inside too. Remember, you want to do it on a medium heat. If you do it on a high heat, that oil can get really, really dangerous. Once we're done here, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and transfer it over to the wire rack over here on my side. You probably can't see. And let it drip for a little bit, and then we're going to put it in the oven. I've got the oven set at 250 degrees, so I'm just going to throw it on a cookie sheet after that, and it'll be done in a matter of minutes. So one thing I forgot to mention is that with your steak, you want to make sure you've got, I usually try to start out with a 1/2 inch steak, and then you want to tenderize it down to 1/4 inch. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these steaks, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop them into my oven, which is at 250 degrees. And I'm only going to have it in there for, let's say about 10-15 minutes. That's giving me enough time to make my faux potatoes. Most of us are familiar with the term meat and potatoes. Now, one thing on the paleo diet that we don't do is potatoes. So, we got to get creative. Because frankly, chicken fried steak needs its potatoes. So, what I'm putting together here is something that my wife used to make. It's called faux potatoes. Clean old cauliflower, and we steam it, make it good and soft. We mash it. We add some garlic, some flavoring to it, some chives. We're going to put it in a bowl, and we're going to steam it. Now, you only need to steam it for 5 minutes in the microwave. And then I just have to mash it up, and you're going to have a bowl of potatoes to put next to your chicken fried steak. We'll try it out and see how it works. Okay, so what I have is my cauliflower here. I'm going to go ahead and add just a dash of chives. I've already kind of smashed it up. Really important, when you steam it, you're going to have some leftover water. I made the mistake of draining it and then remembered you don't want to drain it because that added moisture gives it the mashed potato texture. So, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, put the plate together, see you in a minute. Got the chicken fried steak. Let's get you a little bit of my faux potatoes, some tomatoes, and red bell pepper. Got my raw vegetables, cooked vegetable, protein. I'm really curious how it turned out because this is something I've never done before. In fact, I've actually never even cooked chicken fried steak before. So, we got good coloring through the meat. Nice tender piece. Breading looks great. Well, that curry is exactly what this needed too. That's amazing flavor. Let's try these faux potatoes and see. I put some garlic and some chives in this. It's pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to pretend it's really mashed potatoes, but oh yeah, it's really good. And never ever forget your raw vegetables. There are so many benefits to eating raw vegetables. Sadly, it gets overlooked. Here, the tomato, which is a superfood, the health benefits of raw tomato far outweigh the health benefits of cooked. And again, you'll notice I'm using really brightly colored vegetables. The brighter the color, the better the nutrients, more flavor. Well, it's time for me to eat. It's been nice talking to you guys. Until next time.